You are currently the only person in this conference.
Hmm. Okay, Arman, who are you? Arman, you can listen to me? Arman? Not connected yet. Okay. Arman, you can listen to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So screen is visible also. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So okay, Biddu has also joined. So let's start. I think. No. So we saw the structure of NaCl in the last class, right? Structure of NaCl. NaCl we saw in case of last class. Now what we are going to see now is CSCl type of structure. Okay. Now if NaCl structure, if you remember, the what we did earlier was we tried to calculate the distance between cation and anion. Okay. In case of ionic crystal, in case of NaCl type of structure, and another thing we calculated was how many molecules, okay, molecules per unit cell are present in this structure. Okay. Now see here in this case of CSCl type of structure. Okay. Now in this CSCl type of structure, what happens is chlorine is present, cesium is occupying the location of these unit cells. Okay, corner sites only. Okay, primitive structure you are seeing, and here chlorine is at the body center, which is also a octahedral void also. Okay. This is how it is looking here. Now, can you tell me one thing more I will want you to understand here is if there were eight structure here, okay, eight unit cell here, I can connect chlorines like this also, right? You understand what I'm trying to say? If there was one another above this, one unit cell, one on side of it here, one in front of it, okay, understood? And one side of above one, okay, above this. So effectively, you can also create another similar type of structure for chlorine. Okay, and then it will look like the chlorine is occupying the corner site and cesium is at the void. Understood this thing what I'm trying to tell you? Can you visualize here this thing outside of, I'm removing these bonds here. So this plane is, let's assume, is in front of our, okay, in ahead of this. Okay, this is behind line, this is behind, and this is away. So this is the same distance. This distance is same here. This is the middle point here. Okay. Now, can you visualize this thing, Ariman? Yes.
Yes.
This is how arrangement will be like this one. So we can see here is that both of the chlorine and cesium are occupying almost similar sites here. In whatever way we are trying to see them, we can visualize them in that in one unit cell in similar way. Now, if they are cesium at the corner site only, how many cesium ions are present per unit cell? Yes, Ariman? How many cesium atoms? From the last class, you remember, corner contribution
8.
of corner at, yes, corner contribution of corner atoms is 1 by 8, and overall 8 atoms are present. So overall contribution is 1. So cesium ion in per unit cell would be 1 here. Similarly, in case of Cl minus, it is only present at the body center. So Cl minus per unit cell is also 1. So effectively, only one molecule of cesium chloride per unit cell. This is what we are seeing here, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, yes, Bindu, okay. Now, see here, if cesium is present on the corner site and chlorine is present on the body center, across this bond, the arrangement is like this from the center of this cesium ion to the center of this cesium ion. Distance is root 3a because of the length of this unit cell is a, then this body diagonal length is root 3a. This overall length is 2r plus from this side, r plus on this side, and 2r minus of this chlorine atom. Okay. So effectively, the distance between nearest ions, r plus r minus, that equal to root 3a by 2. Understood? Nearest distance between one cesium ion to another cesium ion is going to be this one. Okay, root 3a by 2 here. Now, this is what we are going to see about these two type of structure here. Okay, now let's see what are the different defects or imperfections in solids here. Okay, imperfections in solids. Okay. Now, see one thing. Two type of crystal we are going to see. Some crystals which are having no defects here. All sides all the lattice points inside that crystal are occupied by those component particles or group of particle or ions, etc. Then we call it ideal crystal. Okay. But what happens is, due to thermal effects like temperature, high temperature, or if we add certain impurities, these pure crystals, okay, can be turned into a defective one. When you add certain impurities, this is called as doping. Okay, addition of impurities is called as doping. Okay. Now let's see two different types of defects. First, we will see is stoichiometric defects. Then we will see non-stoichiometric defects. Okay. So what are those stoichiometric defects? Stoichiometric are those compounds in which the number of positive and negative ions are exactly in the ratio as shown by their chemical formula. What we are saying here is there is a defect in the crystal, okay, but the defect is such that number of positive and negative ions which are present in that compound are exactly in the ratio as per their formula only. That means if I say one positive ion or another negative ion, when both are removed as per their ratio only, let's say if it is NaCl type of structure, one Na and one chlorine, if both are removed, then your ratio is going to be remain so. Okay, this is what stoichiometric defects in stoichiometric compounds someday we are going to see. Now, in such compounds, we are going to see two types of defects. First one is the Schottky defect, and second one is the Frankel defect. Okay, what is Schottky defect? We see now. See, in case of Schottky defect, when only one cation and one anion only are missing from their respective position, so what we get is a pair of holes. I'll show you this structure here. See, if these were the elements, okay, A plus, B minus, A plus adjacent, neutrality is maintained. But what we did in this defect was, due to let's say thermal decomposition, one A positive position of A plus ion is removed here. Okay, and here we have removed one V minus ion. Okay, so effectively stoichiometric ratio is maintained of A and B, but this has created two holes here. Okay, these are called as holes. Okay, two holes here. Now see, now where does this defect can be found? See here, it's generally found in ionic compounds where ratio R plus and R minus very close to unity. Okay, there only you can see such kind of defect. Okay, the radius ratio R plus by R minus, which we saw in case of while we were studying limiting radius ratio, this should be very close to 1, not far below 1. Okay, so why is it so? Because only then both of them are going to be removed. If let's say R plus is much lower than R minus, then we will see the removal of R plus only. It will get removed easily because of its smaller size. Okay. Second thing about the Schottky defect is it is generally found in those compounds where coordination number of the ions is high. Okay. Now see, in case of NaCl, CHCl, NaCl, what was the coordination number? 12. Right? FCC type of lattice. CHCl, What was the coordination number? 8. Okay. 8 cesium ion were enclosing the one chlorine anion. Na? Okay. Coordination number was 8 here. In case of NaCl, coordination number was 12 here. Now, one thing more you have to see here is if there are too many of voids here, too many of holes here, what it will happen is the stability of the crystal will get disturbed. Okay, so what happens is here is that stability will get reduced. It will become unstable. So it will become reactive also due to this defect. Okay. Second thing is if there are holes present. Okay. Now these kind of solids then will start to conduct electricity also to small extent by ionic mechanism. What happens here is this is B minus ion, right? If another electron is present here, it will move to this position. Okay. Now this will elect this B minus and one electron will come up from the electricity here. So this will move to this position. That way the overall conduction of the electricity will start to happen here. That is what happens in case of Schottky defect. Now let's see the Frankel defect here. Understood all about Schottky defect, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's see the Frankel defect here. So in this type of defect, what happens is when an ion leaves its appropriate site in the lattice, okay, it generally occupies an interstitial site. Okay. Now what happens here is this is not correct diagram. It's removed. If this A plus was present here, okay, what it will happen is it will go to some another site like here side. Okay, but this site is vacant here. Okay, this site is vacant here. Okay, A plus goes to some other interstitial site. So this one vacancy is produced. Okay, so in this type of crystal again, you can see that stoichiometry is still maintained, right? A plus is still there. Stoichiometry is still there, but there is defect in crystal because the original position it was expected to be in, it is not present there. Okay. Now, if as I say stoichiometry is present, their electroneutrality is also same here. A plus and B minus are in equal number. Still, the ions have not left the crystal here. So it is going to occupy only the interstitial side. Okay. Why does this so happen? It is going to happen in those kind of lactic cations, etc., where the size is much smaller than this one, anion here. Okay. So this R plus can slip away into the another site, another space. This is what happened in case of Frankel defect. Okay. Now let's see the examples. These are zinc sulfide, AgI. These are the examples of such kind of crystals where Frankel defect can be found. Okay. Few things which happens due to Frankel defect. Okay. Let's see. So what happens is this increases the dielectric constant of the crystal. Okay. Second thing is it starts to conduct electricity. This you may have studied in physics. Dielectric constant, Hariman, heard about it?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So this crystal starts, uh, which is showing Frankel defect. It will also conduct electricity to a small extent by ionic mechanism because of this vacancy only. Okay, these ions will, this one ion will come up here, another hole will be created here. So that way, the small ionic mechanism. Okay, this overall crystal will start to conduct electricity here. Now, few things I want you to remember, few things related to density, I think, in case of Schottky we didn't cover. Now, see, if this is the crystal here, one, this is not removed, this is there in the inside the crystal only. Only one hole is created here. The overall, there is no overall decrease, no decrease in mass of the crystal, right? This is present inside the crystal only, but it has gone to the interstitial position. But in case of Schottky defect, there was removal of both anion and cation. There was decrease in mass of the crystal. Yes, you can see it here. That means if volume is going to be same in both cases, in case of Schottky defect, then density of the crystal is going to decrease. Okay, in case of Schottky effect. But in case of Frankel defect, your density is going to remain same only. Same density. There is going no difference in density here. Okay. So this is what we are going to see in case of stoichiometric defect. Now let's see the non-stoichiometric defect here. Okay, too many things. Now what happens here is this type of defect, non-stoichiometric defect, we will see. This is generally observed in transition compounds. Okay, non-stoichiometric effect. What happens in here is there are two things. Either they are going to have excess ions here. Okay, now why it can have excess ion, or at least one ion is absent from its appropriate position. Okay, now let's see what happens here. First is metal axis defect due to anion vacancy. Now in this place, anion has been replaced, B minus is being replaced by the electron only. Okay, now what happens here is this type of position, because of presence of electron, this is called as F center. Okay, B minus is getting replaced by the electron here. Okay, now metal axis defect due to presence of this electron, what happens here is due to this formation of F center, such kind of crystal are going to show color due to this defect. Okay, now what happens, let's take an example of NaCl here. When NaCl crystal is heated in an atmosphere of, let's say, sodium vapor, it generally becomes yellow. This is the reason, metal axis defect. Okay, because N is absent, metal is present in axis here. Okay, but see, in case of KCl also, such kind of defects is found where when KCl is heated, this anion is absent, and electron replaces that anion, this KCl shows the violet color. Now, this color is due to the range of, let's say, frequency, or let's say wavelength, whatever we are going to see. Okay, that will depend upon that range only, violet, yellow, in that visual range of spectrum. Okay, what kind of excitation happening here, that will show us what kind of color is going to come. That is not in our purview. Simply, you should remember what happens in case of absenter type of defect here, metal axis defect. Okay, due to anion we are talking about. Okay, this is what you need to know. Now, let's see metal axis defect due to interstitial cation. Okay, now in this uh, crystal effect, we are going to show, see, we saw in Schottky defect, so Schottky defect, that there was absence of, there was vacancy here and electron was absent, that metal cation was absent, metal was in axis, okay, cation absent here. Okay, now here, sorry, anion absent in earlier case, anion was absent. Now there was a hole created because the overall ions were absent in case of Schottky. Similarly, in this defect, metal axis defect due to anion vacancies, okay, what is happening here is that your anion have gone out of this crystal here. Okay, so there was hole created which vacancy electron was occupying here in this case. But in case of absent Frankel defect, if you remember, what was happening? There was interstitial shift of the cation or anion. Now, this type of defect, where there is a defect due to interstitial cation, what happens here is there is metal axis defect due to extra cation into some interstitial positions here. Just like the Frankel defect, interstitial positions are having extra cation here. Okay. Now, what happens here to maintain the electrical neutrality? Okay. To get the electrical neutrality, one electron is going to come inside this lattice here. Okay. Interstitial site. Okay. Now, due to this type of defect, again, we are going to see kind of color also. Okay. Now, what happens here is this actually is shown why. First, note this ZNO. Okay. Now, this axis in case of ZNO, which is cation, Zn 2 plus. Okay. 2 minus is Ni here. This Zn 2 plus, it goes to this side here. Okay. And this electron will come up to the nearest position only. Okay, it's not like it is going to be away, maybe here only, nearest interstitial site only. Okay, to maintain the electrical neutrality. Okay, so due to these trapped electrons inside this overall crystal, we see the yellow color of the zinc when it is hot, zinc oxide. Okay, when heated, it will show yellow color. Okay, this is what happens in case of metal axis defect. Okay, and another thing you can note here is that due to presence of such electron, it will also conduct electricity. Okay, conduct electricity. Now, this is all about the metal axis defect due to extra cation. Okay, now try to see, this was in NEET exam, this question. Can you solve it? Which of the following statements about the interstitial compounds is incorrect? Note down, okay? Think about it carefully and try to solve it. Okay. Now let's study about the doping here. Okay. Everyone is listening, Ariman?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's try to finish up this chapter today only. Okay. Now let's study about the doping here. Okay. Now earlier, whatever type of defects we studied was present due to these holes or etc. or due to cations and anions only. Okay, because of the disturbance in arrangement, whether it was Schottky defect or Frank defect, on all these, or whether metal axis defect due to anion vacancy or metal axis defect due to extra cation. Whatever these type of defects till now we studied were of those type only, where only we were dealing with only those cations or anions only. Okay, but in case of doping, what we are going to do is we are going to introduce some kind of impurity here, which is not due to the presence of ions at the per, let's say, the crystal which is made up of. Okay, whatever the crystal is made up of. Okay, this is not due to that atom or ion, but due to the foreign impurity we are going to introduce some kind of defect. Okay. Now, doping, the definition of doping, I hope you understood. Addition of a small amount of foreign impurity in the host crystal is called that dope. Now, due to this doping only, these type of crystal also start to conduct electricity here. Okay. Now, what we will do is we will see two type of doping here. Okay. First, let's see of doping of group 14 elements such as silicon, germanium, etc. We are seeing the silicon structure here. Okay, what we are going to do is we are going to dope group 14 elements with elements of group 15 such as arsenic here. Okay, now when we introduce arsenic and other type of proton, okay, let's say phosphorus, group 15 element here, it producing an excess of electrons in the crystal. Those we call it N type of semiconductor. Okay, we call it N type of semiconductor. When we dope group 14 element with group 15 because of excess of electrons. But when doping of group 14 element is done with group 13 element, okay, they produce electron deficiency holes in the crystal. Okay, in this type of holes, we call it P type of semiconductor are produced. Okay, now this you can understand here when we are introducing extra electron. See here, this was the silicon structure crystal here, pure silicon. Okay, this is how they are forming bonds here, covalent crystal here type. Okay, they are sharing electron. all across this. Okay, you can see here these shared electrons here. Now, in place of this silicon, this is silicon. Okay, this silicon, I replace it with phosphorus 1. Now, phosphorus is of group 15 element. What it is going to have is an extra electron in its outer orbit. Okay, which is not going to be shared with other silicon atoms here. This extra electron creates a negative charge in this crystal. Okay, and they start to conduct electricity. Okay, this type of structure, this is called is the formation of the semiconductor. Okay, this type of structure are called N type of structure, N type of semiconductors here, where negative charge is present. Okay, how is it formed? Group 14 elements are being doped with group 15 elements with extra electron. Okay, now let's see the p-type structure here. In this type of structure, see, we are doping group 14 electrons with a group 14 metal ion with group 13 metal. Okay, now see here, silicon when doped with boron here. Okay, boron is going to have one less electron. It is going to create this vacancy here. Okay, this vacancy here. One extra space for electron. Now, because of this, other electrons can replace it, okay, and move inside this crystal. Movement of electrons can happen because of this hole here. Okay, this also creates the electricity conduction here. Okay, electricity conduction happen because of this hole here. In N type, because of electron. In P type, because of hole here. Now, because this is a hole, it is creating extra positive charge here. One less electron, that means positive charge is extra. That's why it is called a p-type structure or p-type semiconductor here. Okay, understood this thing? Yes, Ariman,
Yes, sir.
Bindu.
Yes.
Okay, now simple question which came earlier was, which of the following elements silicon should be doped so as to give P type of semiconductor? Can you tell me here now? Just give you example. Answer is, what is the answer for P type? Bindu, Arman, what is the answer? I told you just now, no? From which compound it should be doped? Come on, Arman.
Sir, option D, sir.
Yes, Bindu. D, boron. You have to dope it with boron. If silicon is present, you have to dope it with that kind of compound which is having less number of electrons in its outer orbit. Okay, this is the atom which is having less number of electrons in its outer orbit. Okay, now try to solve this question here. Can you think of it? How do we solve it? Very simple question. Very, very simple.
Sir, I think option D, sir.
Option D. Why? What do you think? I mean, just a guess, or why is it this the answer? Ariman, can you think why D should be answer, or somebody think else is answer? Bindu, tell me what is why are you thinking about this? Why is it this? D is the answer. Give me the reason here, yeah. What is HrCl2? Strontium, na? What is the charge of Yes, Bindu,
Plus two.
saying something. Ariman, saying something.
+2 charge.
Yes, plus
Yes,
2
sir.
charge. That's okay. Yeah, strontium is having plus 2 charge here. Okay, and now you are doping NaCl with it. Okay, now to maintain electrical neutrality, okay, let's make a structure of NaCl. Let me draw it here. This was NaCl. These This was in front, this is in back, this is side, right side, this is left side, this is top, this is bottom. This is FCC lattice. Here, what we saw is chlorine was occupying these octahedral sites. Remember everyone? NaCl type of structure. 8 centers, right? This was at the center, one another octahedral void. Okay. Now, here, can you tell me if I replace, okay, one Na plus ion here, okay, with if I'm going to introduce Sr2 plus side, so it's going to one Na plus, we can see in place of one Na plus we can see, but to maintain the electrical neutrality, I will have to replace two type of atom here. Okay, what will happen is this strontium will come here. Let's say this is going to be removed. Sorry, this is going to be removed here, Na plus, because you have to maintain the electrical neutrality. Okay, so two Na plus ions will get vacant. Okay, everyone understood? So
Yes, sir.
for each introduction of one atom of a 2 plus ion, but you are going to get Na plus. One vacancy is created. Understood everyone? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me here, if they are saying that 10.4 mole percentage of SrCl2. Okay, this is what they are saying, that they are doping the NaCl. Okay, 10.4 mole percentage. So this is now what happening here is, if it is percentage, now what we will do is we will assume that there were 100% sites. and 10.4 mole percent sites were removed. Okay, so how many sites are there? 10.4 divided by 100. These many sites, I will have to remove 10 raised to minus 6 mole. Okay. This is 100% was 1 mole. 10.4 mole percentage of SrCl2. 10 to minus mole sites SrCl2 I am introducing. These many moles of Na plus I will have to remove. Everyone right? Correct? No.
Yes, sir, because Na plus double will be removed. That's why.
Right. Now, just you have to do now is what? You have to divide Na by 10 raised to minus 6 only. Okay? Understood, Bindu now?
Yes, sir.
Answer would be B here actually. Okay? 10.6 per mole vacancy will come here. Okay? These many amount multiplied you will have to, for 1 mole you are getting these many number of position, let us say. Then effectively if this percentage is taken, you will have to divide by this percentage term. Okay. Now, Vinu, were you able to understand this one? Ariman understood this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Now the last part of this thing. First, let's see the electrical properties of the solids here. Okay. Now, what we are going to do is solids. Generally, each type of solid. Okay. When we study P block and SP block groups, what we will see is we will see 3 different types of solids. Metal, which conducts electricity. Some are insulator here. Okay. Some are insulator here. Okay. And some are semiconductor here. Okay. Now, insulators are those which cannot conduct electricity. Metals are those which can conduct electricity and semiconductors. Okay. Semiconductors like ionic solids, okay, is due to the presence of holes or extra electrons only. Okay. They cannot easily conduct electricity semiconductor, but if we create conditions such that they can show the behavior of semiconductor. Okay. Now, in any kind of metals or insulators, how do we see the conduction? It is due to the presence of electrons, holes, or ions. Okay. First thing. Okay. Second is due to the vacancies or other defects, also we see the conduction. Okay. In these type of metals. Third is conductivity of semiconductor or whether insulator. Okay. Can see conductivity in semiconductors as well, but that could happen because of impurities or defects present in them only. Okay. Understood, everyone? They can show the conductivity, but due to the impurities or defects present in them only. Okay. Now, conductivity of solid as such metal ions is not in doubt here. only insulator and semiconductor, they are going to conduct electricity depending upon what type of impurity is present, what type of defect is present in these type of crystals here. Okay, this you have to keep in mind here. The solids are going to conduct so the electrical properties only when there is some kind of defect and impurities. Okay, now let's see the magnetic properties of these solids one by one. Okay. This you understood electrical, nothing much there to understand here, nothing much in your syllabus here. Okay. And what time they are going to show electrical conductivity, this is what you have to study, which we have already studied. Now, let's see the magnetic properties of the solids. Okay. Now, how do these solids the magnetic properties? Depending on their response to magnetic fields, we will classify them. Okay. What is the paramagnetic? That means paramagnetic means weakly magnetic compound. Okay. Now, in such type of compounds, which you have already heard in, I think, chemical bonding as well, these two terms, paramagnetic and diamagnetic. This is what we are going to see. Such materials contain magnetic dipoles, presence of atoms, ions, or molecules with unpaired electrons. Like in case of O2, you saw O2 is paramagnetic. Can you tell me, Arman, why is it paramagnetic O2 from chemical bonding? Did you study, Bindu? Bindu, listening? Why is it paramagnetic O2? Arman, mana kar do if you do not know. It's okay. It's okay.
Its valence that does not contain the paired electrons, right?
Okay.
Valence.
Okay. This is what, let's see. Any kind of, if you want to calculate magnetic moment also, what was the magnetic moment here? Under root n into n plus 2, where n is the number of unpaired electrons. Okay, number of unpaired electrons. Okay, if number of unpaired electrons are found, now we studied two types of theory earlier. I'm just helping you revise those things here. Okay, we studied two types of theory: valence bond theory and molecular orbital theory. Right, Ariman? Yes. We studied these two types of theory here. Bindu has found. Okay. Now, in valence bond theory, we see O2 as paramagnetic. It used to show diamagnetic, but O2 displayed the behavior like paramagnetic. Through MOT only we could calculate that O2 is actually paramagnetic. Okay. Now what we did was we draw a molecular orbital diagram of O2. Okay. Try to see this kind of diagram here. Okay. Draw these 1s, sigma 1s, sigma 1s star. Okay. These sigma 2s. These kind of sorry, not here, from here. Okay. Sigma 2s. Okay. Sigma 2s and sigma 2s star. These are bonding orbital, these are anti-bonding orbital. And later on, what? Pi 2px and pi 2pz type of structure, right? Above here, this like this only. Okay, that is how your structure is. Now try to see these kind of structure here. Okay, try to revisit the molecular orbital diagram of O2 and try to see how this in MOT you can see the unpaired electron present in the O2 molecule. Okay, now let's come back to this our main topic here. These kind of molecular orbital diagram you remember, Ariman?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so try to revisit them, and so this is your 11th class syllabus only. Now keep in mind these O2, Cu plus 2 or Fe plus 3, these are also having unpaired electrons. Okay, we will study in coordination chemistry about these type of metal ions also, but what you have to keep in mind is this such paramagnetic compound shows magnetism only in the presence of magnetic field only. They do not show magnetism automatically. Okay, in presence of magnetic field. Now let's see the another type of compound which are diamagnetic one. Okay, these are weakly even repelled by magnetic field. Okay, absence of unpaired electron like in these type of ions. Okay, where only 2 electrons are present in this O minus 2 oxide, chloride, sodium, only 8 electrons are present, but no unpaired electron in these type of ions. Okay, if these are not going to see any type of unpaired electron, they are going to have diamagnetic character only. First thing you should mean, diamagnetic actually are repelled by magnetic field. This you can remember. Okay. Okay.
So paramagnetic is not any magnetic
Yes.
effect.
What?
So does magnetism show magnetic effect?
Two source?
Paramagnetic.
Paramagnetic you are asking? Yes.
So does it show any
Paramagnetism,
magnetic?
paramagnetism shows magnetism, very weak magnetism, but in presence of magnetic field only. Diamagnetic doesn't show any kind of magnetism. Okay, they are rather repelled by the magnetic. Okay. Now,
Okay.
now let's see the another type of magnetism. Now, first is the ferromagnetism. This happens, it is caused by the spontaneous alignment of the magnetic moments in the same direction. Okay, but in case of, see here, these are the different types of structure. The magnetic poles which we see, this you may have studied in physics little bit, magnetism. Still not studied till now.
So we had studied diamagnetism and paramagnetism. That's it.
No. In physics, I am asking.
No, so we have not studied magnetism. In 10th we had studied.
They may cover this thing, but yeah, let's see here. Inside any magnetism, two type of poles you have studied. That's what I you remember, north and south pole. right? This is the direction here. Okay, this you have studied. Yes, in earlier classes in magnet. Now, in ferromagnetism, what happens here is this magnetic moment, okay, of these magnets gets aligned in the direction. In case of ferromagnetic compounds, okay. In case of ferrimagnetism, okay, what happens here is moments are aligned in parallel and anti-parallel direction in unequal number. Okay. No, see here the last one here, ferrimagnetism. Moments are in unequal number, same directions here, not in same. This one is same direction. These are in anti-parallel direction. These two, not in equal number. Their effective magnetism is not balanced here, so they also show magnetism. But anti-ferromagnetic compound, what happens is that alignment of movement is in a compensatory way so as to give zero net movement. See the middle one. They are aligned in such a way that effective magnetic moment is here. Okay, magnetic moment is balanced. Here it is not balanced. In the first one it is not balanced. Second one it is not. Third one is not balanced. It is balanced here. Okay, so that is how this is the anti-ferromagnetism, which is not going to show any kind of uh, magnetic moment. But all type of magnetically ordered solids like these ferromagnetic or anti-ferromagnetic, all these types, okay, this is arranged, they transform to the paramagnetic state at some elevated temperatures, okay, because the spin at elevated temperature gets randomized, so that they start to show some kind of magnetic moment here. Okay, I think that's more than enough. No question has come up, I think, in your exam related to this earlier when it was in your syllabus detail. Now it's not in much of part. It does not cover here. Okay. Now, uh, Ariman, do you have the DPP with you?
Not now.
No DPP here. Okay. I'll open it here for you. Class 12 DPP. Seven to class 12. Okay. I'll share with you. I'm going to share the class 12 DPP here. This you have got? Everyone,
Yes, sir.
can you see the DPP now?
Yes.
Okay. So let's try to solve these questions one by one here. Okay. Now, first question: if germanium, can you try to solve it? If germanium crystallizes in the same way as diamond, then which of the following statement is not correct? You remember the diamond structure? During covalent crystals, only we covered up this. Yes. Hmm. Ariman? Ariman, what are you solving this question?
Yes, I'm trying.
Yeah. Chalo. Okay. See, now, see, let me tell you, I think, now, okay, see here, uh, in diamond type of structure, what happens is, okay, you saw these FCC type of lattice, okay, FCC type of lattice. This is how the carbon atom inside this diamond atom are bonded here. Okay, now, yes, listening, Arman, Bindu.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what happens here is every atom in the structure is tetrahedrally bonded to four atoms. Okay. Now, how this forms is, I'll show you that structure again here. Okay. I'm going to reshare that part earlier one. Okay. See, I'm going to reshare here, okay? That diagram we saw. Can you see it now? Just a minute. It's good. Okay. Now, if you remember this structure of diamond, okay? Now, see in this structure here, this is the FCC type of lattice. Okay. Corner sides, all corner sides are occupied. Okay. Apart from that, all these face-centered sides are also occupied. Okay. Now, there is what happens here is these four atoms. Okay. This is going to form a tetrahedral bond with these four atoms. You are seeing each atom. Okay, this one, see this one here. Okay, from this one, and from this one. What are these three atoms? These are actually face center of the left face, bottom face, and this front face. And this is tetrahedral void here. Okay, so this is what happens here in case of this. That at one side, if tetrahedral void is occupied. So this is here one tetrahedral void also occupied here. See from this face, and from top face. Okay, this is tetrahedral void. Similarly, you can see here, this is one bond here. What you will see is, in case of tetrahedral void, all lattice sides, okay, in FCC lattice are occupied, plus half of the tetrahedral void. Okay, half of the tetrahedral void. How many tetrahedral voids were present in FCC lattice? 8. 8 tetrahedral void. Half of tetrahedral void means 4 sides are occupied within this. Okay, understood this thing?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what happens in case of diamond structure. I'm again going to share the GPP here. Okay, so every atom in the diamond structure is actually tetrahedrally bonded to 4 atoms. Okay, this is okay. Now, when you replace germanium, okay, crystallizes azimna, what it will have is, it will have 8 germanium atoms. This you understood now? How is it having 8 germanium? FCC lattice used to have overall 4 atoms per unit cell, right? Along with it, 4 tetrahedral voids are occupied. So total 8 germanium atoms are present. Okay. Now, as one carbon atom each is attached to another carbon atom tetrahedrally, so the coordination number is going to be 4 only. This is also true. Okay. Now, what we saw in this case was that only 4 tetrahedral voids were occupied. That means this third option was incorrect, that all the octahedral voids are occupied. Fourth option is correct one, that all the octahedral voids and 50% tetrahedral voids are remain unoccupied. Okay, so this is your correct option. Answer is C here because they have asked you not correct. Understood? So understand this thing about the diamond structure. Okay, completely now about diamond structure. Now you can solve any question related to diamond structure now. Okay, now let's see another question here. First question, the cubic unit cell of a metal which is having molar mass this has an age length of 362 picometer, and it is this the type of unit cell they have asked. Can you calculate this one? Try to calculate N here. Though you know, I think N M Y V multiplied by N E. Age length is 362 picometer, which is 10 raised to minus 12 meter. What is the value of N here?
Sir, 4.
Yes, correct. The value would be 4. So the lattice would be, if N is 4, which type of lattice would it be? Primitive contains 2 atoms. Sorry, primitive contains only 1 atom.
Space centered.
Body centered contains 2 atoms. Space centered would contain 4 atoms. Cubic unit cell they are asking. Okay. And end centered cubic unit cell would contain how many atoms? Again 2 only. Okay. Space centered is the answer here. Now, can you tell me this question depending upon the today's class only? Doping of AgCl crystals with CdCl2. Yes, Ariman. Just see if it is okay. Screen share has ended or screen is visible to you?
Yes.
Visible, na? So what is the answer of the third question? Vindu, I think you missed out on this part.
Yes, sir.
Try to revisit the part of that lecture. Very small. Only these simple questions will come up. Nothing greater here. Now see what's happening here. See, in case of AgCl, Ag is having positive charge, but if you dope it with CdCl2, Cd is having 2 plus charge. Okay. Now, what will happen here is, if Ag is replaced by Cd2 plus in the structure, okay, Cd2 plus in the structure, this is having 2 plus charge. Again, in similar way, here also, we will have to replace one more Ag plus. Okay, when 2 Ag plus are removed, then one Cd2 plus can make it electrically neutral. Okay, compound. Okay, that means Cd assume the position of Ag plus, but to maintain electrical neutrality, one Ag plus will have to go away from the crystal. That means a cation vacancy will arise here. Okay, understood?
Yes, sir.
Substitutional cation vacancy, because substituting Cd2 plus here. Okay, now let's see the fourth question here. Metal crystallizes in two cubic phases, FCC and BCC, whose unit cell lengths are 3.5 angstrom and 3 angstrom respectively. Ratio of their density it is asking. It's just asking. In case of row 1, you have FCC lattice, let's say. This is FCC. And value of N would be 4. Molecular mass is going to remain same. Length is 3.5 angstrom. So that means 3.5 angstrom cube. N is going to remain same. For row BCC, what you are going to see is 2 here, where N is same here. This is 3 angstrom of cube and Na. Now you can take the ratio here, na? Row FCC by row BCC. Okay. I think you can do it. The answer would be the C1, 1.46 here. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, they are asking coordination number of Zn2 plus and H2 minus in the crystal structure of wordgite. Wordgite is ZnS. Okay. This crystal structure we saw earlier. Do you remember? I think I gave you the example of which kind of lattice zinc sulfide assumed here. Okay, I'll give you the both here. There's some kind of noise here. Now, don't remember. See, ZNS is going to have FCC type of structure here. Okay, wordgite. Okay, another type of structure. Okay, I think today's time is almost over. Okay, what we will do is, okay, we will see the structure of ZNS completely in the next. I'll show you in the structure of ZNS here. Okay, how is it formed? What happens here is, in case of ZNS, it assumes the FCC lattice. Okay, it assumes the FCC lattice, and in each unit cell, okay, there would be 4 ZNS effectively present. Now, two things I want you to remember is here is when we see this FCC type of lattice, okay, I told you to calculate the number of molecules of NaCl here. Similarly, in case of ZNS, if you count this FCC lattice, okay, the number of cation and anion ratio comes out to be 4 only. Okay, number of zinc and number of sulfur, it will come out to be 4 only. Zinc will occupy those octahedral void position only. Okay, FCC lattice simply. Okay, just like NaCl only. Okay, so it will have actually the same type of structure as in NaCl. You saw 4 molecules of zinc present in a unit cell bonded to 4 4 molecule of sulfur here. So effective coordination number of is 4 and 4 here in a unit cell, because 4 zincs are going to bond with 4 sulfur here. This is what we mean by coordination number in case of the ionic crystal. Okay, keep in mind this thing. One zinc is going to bond with how many sulfur? That is what our coordination number is here. What we earlier saw, let's say in case of this FCC and BCC type of structure. Okay, this I think you should remember it. What I want. Okay, when all the atoms were equal here. Okay, all these atoms were of the, let's say all the atoms were metal. So then the coordination number was 8 here for each one. Now there was another example of cesium chloride. Okay, in this cesium present here, chlorine was present at the center here. Okay, now in this case, 8 cesiums were actually covering up these chlorine atoms. Similarly, 8 chlorine were covering up this cesium atom. Now, in case of zinc and acid, just like in the diamond structure we saw, okay, in covalent crystal, that only carbon were bonding with the 4 carbon atom only. Those were the 4 nearest atoms to it. Zinc crystal will see the similar arrangement here. Okay, they are going to bond with, this zinc is going to bond with only 4 sulfur effectively. Okay, like this. This is what we mean by coordination number here. Okay. Okay. In next class, I'll show you again the whole structure of ZNS. We'll study about the ZNS structure also. Some of the other structure I will also try to cover is like MnO2, etc. Okay. We will see in the next class. Okay. And try to solve this DPP yourself, so we don't have to waste much time solving in the class itself this DPP. Okay, everyone. Arman, Bindu.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we will skip through all those questions which you were able to solve. Okay, and I'll just provide you the answers in the next class. Okay, so all the best, everyone. Let's end
Thank
it
you,
for
sir.
today here.